Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Magical Talking Hat podcast, the only podcast in the world that is ending today. This is the last episode. It's just me. Before we get too far, I want to make this clear. This is not a bit or a joke or like a thing we're doing. This really is it. I know it's very sudden. I'm sorry about that, but I figured I owed you guys some closure on this. I want to make it clear up front that this is not William and I have not had like a falling out or anything. We're still really good, and in fact, I believe we tried it last week, but he wasn't feeling well. But I think we are still going to get on Zoom the same time we always did before and just talk. We're just not going to record it, not going to put it out on the internet. The reasons behind this are diverse and quite personal, both to me and to William. So I'm not going to dive too deep into it. What I will basically say is we don't want to engage in public discourse anymore. We don't want to be part of the internet in that sense. We don't, I mean, I know for the most part, it's just us talking to our friends online, but we are actually putting something out there for real. And we don't want to do that anymore. Obviously there's concern to just William and his job, and if he says something inappropriate and it could screw up his professional career. But yeah, I think over the years we just are more private than we were. I mean, William's always been, but yeah, we'd rather talk with people in real time rather than broadcasting to the internet, rather than whenever I'm talking with William on here, I have to keep in mind that there's also an audience, and that changes how we talk. Um, and we don't like we like you all and would love to have conversations with you, but not in the way where we talk for an hour and you listen to it or watch it on the internet and then go to a blog and comment on it. Like that's a very asynchronous discourse, and we just don't sort of enjoy that vibe anymore. Um, so I am sorry to be springing this on you guys, but I don't know. Do podcasts gradually end? I don't know. They probably all instantly end. Um, it's nothing you did, and as I said, William and I very happy together. We're going for pancakes on Friday. We are all good, and you guys are good. We like you. And we've been doing this for 14 and a half years. Uh, and some of you have been with us since day one. The reason I came up with this podcast, as I think I've said before, is I was very late to joining Facebook. And when I joined Facebook, everyone was so excited to see me. And I very, in a sort of mercenary way, was like, I shouldn't waste this attention. I've got eyes on me. I've got ears on me. I should do something with it. Because back in those days, I still thought like, oh, I'm going to be a famous podcaster or something. But that was the initiative originally. And while William was even then a very close friend, the real reason I picked William is I knew he would say yes, because he sort of says yes to most stuff that doesn't make him uncomfortable. He's very game for a lot, so I knew he'd go for it, and he did, and we did it for 14 and a half years. I believe this is episode 757. I'm sorry William's not here. I think he was not comfortable with having to sort of navigate this part. You guys know William. He would like explain it and then reiterate and be like, that wasn't quite right. And I don't think he wanted to be misunderstood here at this final thing. So I said I'd do it. But yeah, it's not us, it's not you. We are just tired of podcasting. We don't want to be an internet presence anymore, I guess. So, but this has been one of the biggest things in my life. I You don't do something for 14 and a half years without it being a big. This is one of the things that when my life flashes before my eyes, it'll be this will be in there. Uh this this has changed me, and I have changed during the process. Like, William and I both aren't the same people we were remotely, and most of you longtime listeners probably aren't the same people you were when we started. Uh and having this out there and having you all out there has been great. I have loved this experience. I'm so happy I decided to do it, and I can't believe it went on this long. But it was a really good time. Uh, it's just time to sort of move on. Will I ever have another presence out there? Maybe. Sometimes I think about, you know, writing stuff and just putting it on a blog or something. Or my old theory of uh, I will just read you the origin stories of various superheroes based on their Wikipedia entries because they're hilarious. Um, but I don't know. At this point, I have no plans. As far as the infrastructure of the Magical Talking Hat, um, at the moment, the website will stay up. Uh, I want to try and get a copy of all the episodes just to have, I guess. But it's not going to stay up forever, and so the podcast will go away uh, because I'm not going to pay $35 a month forever uh, just for this. I mean, just for the memory, I guess. But I would say you probably got till the end of the calendar year, maybe even longer. I don't know, but I don't imagine I'll move on it quicker than that. YouTube will still be there. So whenever we started doing YouTube up till now, all of those episodes will stay on YouTube. But if you're really wanting to sort of archive the rest or whatever, now's your time. But obviously, do whatever. If you still want to get a hold of me for the time being, you can email the magical talking hat at gmail.com, and I'll still see it, not to break kayfabe, but we're the ones who check those emails. But in the grand scheme, I won't keep track of that email address again over time. If for some reason you don't know how to get a hold of me, and for some reason you think you want to, my email address, well, one of the email address I'm giving you, SEALAB2020 at hotmail.com. CLAB 2020, like the old cartoon, at hotmail.com. And I know it's risky to put that stuff out there, but scammers would have to actually listen to the episode in order to get this information. And I just don't think I'm that important. And also, that's the email address I use for spam and things. When the internet wants my email, that's the one I give them. So it's already got a bunch of crap on it. But I do check it regularly. So yeah, if for some reason you wanted to get a hold of me, obviously, if you already have methods of getting a hold of me, you can use those. And maybe none of you need to get a hold of me. I don't know. I just didn't want to leave you quite so high and dry. Um, I'm gonna miss this. We made this decision almost around a week ago, I think. I can't remember exactly, but we made the final decision probably around a week ago. And so I keep thinking about things like I'm going to watch movies now and not be constantly thinking about what I'm going to tell you all about them. I've always felt, I mean, the truth is probably 6 people who are already friends with me are the only ones paying attention to this. So it doesn't really matter. But I've always felt like this is a genuine platform. Like I'm telling the public things. There's definitely stuff I have talked about on here that if I was alone with William, I wouldn't have talked about it because I don't think William's interested. I thought the rest of you were, and I guess that goes away. It's the end of an era in a big way, and it's going to be weird. And there's a lot of things I'm going to miss. Um, but that's how it's going to be, and there are some aspects to it I'm not going to miss. It's not you guys. It's behind the scenes maintenance and just crap and yeah. Uh, so I don't think there's a lot more to say. Um, I wish you guys all well, and you should do podcasts if you don't already. I know some of you do, and let me know if you start podcasts. I'll check them out or YouTube channels or whatever. Um, I recommend it. I recommend trying it out. It's fun. It's been a neat experience. I think it's definitely brought William and I closer together. I think we're going to take it from here, but I would venture a guess that we would have grown apart if it wasn't for this, and that's why we're going to work hard to maintain our interactions offline because I don't want us to grow apart from this. One of my best friends in the world. But yeah, we're just not going to be doing it in front of people anymore. And I hope that's okay. If it's not, I'm sorry. That is something you have to deal with. But it's not. I'm not going to change my mind. And I'm pretty sure William won't either. But I hope this isn't too rough on anybody. I flatter myself to think it might be, but I know some of you are used to us and used to listening to us, and it's going to be a change. Suddenly, not having us to listen to anymore. Um, so thank you, everyone, and I'll miss you, and I'll miss this, but it's time to move on. But for old time's sake, let's follow a couple things. Watch some movies I needed to tell you about. All right, this is what was left on my list here. Not a lot to say. Most of these are not that interesting. Riff Raff. It's a crime movie. I think it's on Hulu. It's got a bunch of really good people in it: Jennifer Coolidge, Ed Harris, Bill Murray, Pete Davidson, Gabrielle Union. Bunch of great people. There wasn't much to it. It's kind of a black comedy. I found it kind of boring and uninteresting. So take that as you will. It's called Riff Raff, if I didn't say. We finally watched Venom, Trish and I. It's a fun time. I mean, you can definitely not watch it, but it's a fun time. We saw that movie Opus, the one that has Ao Adabiri and John Malkovich about an old pop star who comes out of retirement and has a cult. It's a horror movie. It hasn't done that well, and I see why. It's very nice to look at. It's a very pretty film in some ways, except when it's horrific, obviously. But the idea is not that interesting, and the twists and everything are only interesting for like 5 seconds until you think about them, and then it doesn't really work. Um, Woken. Now this is tricky. This is Woken 2025. There's several movies with that title, some of them right around the same time. This is the one starring Erin Kellyman, who is sort of a hot property right now. She's showing up in a lot of places. I really like her. About a woman with amnesia on a island, pregnant, and her husband and some friends are there, and they're trying to help her with her amnesia, but it's all kind of sinister and scary shit happens. It's fine if you kind of like that folk horror vibe. It's sort of in there. Um, yeah, you can watch it or not, whatever. I found a movie called Cannibal Mukbang, and it is a horror comedy, and I loved it mostly for its originality. It is a very, it's got some major violence in it in places. It's a weird little film, but it's very original. Basically, imagine the old manic pixie dream girl trope. Imagine Natalie Portman from Garden State if she was also a Dexter, basically. Um, if she also killed bad people on the side and spoilers for cannibal mukbang eats them. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I mean, it's a big swing if you're not into horror movies and stuff like that. Probably not for you, but I liked it quite a bit. And it's a fairly low budget movie that proves low budget doesn't have to mean bad. It is very well acted. It is very well shot, in my opinion. It is quite well written. Um, but it was made on the cheap. So you can do it. And just the other night, Trish and I watched Weapons, the Zach Kreger movie. The guy who did Barbarian, which I haven't seen and don't intend to see. Weapons is okay. Weapons was a very unpleasant film. Had I known everything about it, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I'm so glad I did though. I found it to be an amazing film. Trish and I talked for a long time afterwards about what happened and what the implication is and what the themes might be and what the metaphors might be. It's incredibly compelling. Like even as I'm not enjoying it, I need to watch more kind of thing. It's a gamble to watch it because, like I said, it's fairly unpleasant in places. It uses violence sparingly, but when it uses it, it's rough. There's some hardcore violence and gore in places. You need to be prepared for that. Um, but it's a fascinating movie that's going to stick with me for a long time. It is heavily supernatural, so don't worry about that kind of thing. Like it's not a it could really happen, obviously, because I wouldn't watch it. But um I don't want to say a lot about it. The premise, which I can say because it's sort of the first thing they talk about, is one night, uh, in the middle of the night, a whole classroom of kids ran off into the night, kind of Naruto running, which I find really funny. I don't think they were trying to make it funny, but they look like they're doing the arms back like it's a Naruto run off into the night and then vanished. And the stories about that and what that means and how everybody responds and um but I don't want to say more than that. And I think it's a good one to go in with little knowledge, but know that you're taking a risk because it's rough in places. But I'm very glad I saw it. Um, yeah, I think that's all of those. Should we do one last side quest? Um, there's probably about 52 cards here. Pick a number between 1 and 52. All of you do it out loud. I don't care where you are. Say it out loud. All right. I'll go with that. Yes, I did hear you. I don't remember if we've had this. It looks familiar. It's hard to say. Terraform your atmosphere. Tidy up or get rid of any clutter that's disrupting your peace of mind. Um, I don't know. We the quote is we're always in the middle of two energies. Gravity is sinking you down. Inspiration is pulling you up. And this is from Mandy Inger. Oh, why can't I see this? I want to give the appropriate appellation. Mandy Ingber. I'll be honest, I don't know who that is. That's a lovely thought, but yeah, I'm a big proponent of finding what is disturbing your peace and tidying it up. Um, so do that. Take that forward into your life, I guess. Again, I'm sorry for how sudden this is, but know that we liked you all a lot and still like you all, and we'll miss you. I'll miss you. William's kind of a jerk, so but I needed to end on one last baseless slam against William. And now I have. So I feel like I should say fuck, 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 three fucks, because that's how I started the very first episode to prove that we were for adults or whatever. God, that was dumb. It was off the thing with the King's speech and it getting PG-13. They were anyway, it was dumb. But y'all take care out there. And even though I'm not podcasting anymore, I'm still thinking about all of you that I know. And if there are some of you that I didn't know, um, I'm not thinking about you because I didn't know, but I also wish you well and hope things go well from here. Love you guys. Love you people. Bye. If I can.